Well, hello everyone. Fundraise has clearly been the flavor of the season, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. A very warm welcome to Daily Dispatch. I'm Priya Sheth, and I have for you the top three news stories that we've been tracking today. Well, headline number one, customer experience automation platform Yellow.ai has raised as much as $78.15 million in a Series C round of funding. This brings the company's total funding to about $102 million. The company plans to use this investment as a way to scale up business by hiring top talent, investing in R&D, and in overseas expansion. Well, casual wear brand YourStory has raised about $10 million in a Series B funding round led by Elevation Capital. The YourStory will be using the capital to expand its product portfolio on both licensed merchandise as well as casual wear. The company will also be using the funds to expand its manufacturing capabilities and focus on recruiting activities. Well, moving on to the final headline of the day, Stride Ventures has announced the first close of its second fund at 550 crore rupees. The venture debt firm had launched its 1000 crore rupees Stride Ventures India Fund 2 with a green shoe option of 875 crore rupees in May. The average ticket size is expected to increase up to about 75 crore rupees for investments in growth as well as late stage startups. Well, a very warm welcome to this insightful panel discussion. I have with me two very big players in the fitness space. I have with me Jayam Vora from Fitternity, and I have with me Afsar Zaidi from HRX. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us today. I want to begin by asking you, Jayam, about the whole fitness space. I was reading some statistics out there, and it showed that about 71,000 new apps have been downloaded specifically in the fitness space over the last 1 year. And these are the new apps that have been launched into the market. So what's the kind of momentum that you're seeing in the fitness space with Fitternity?
No, I think, the space has really taken off, right? And I think, three overlying factors over there, right? I think if you take a step back and you reflect on the pandemic, I think what it's taught us is that from an infections point of view, it somewhere segregated us into two folds. You're either young and healthy, or you're slightly aged and unhealthy, right? And while you can't reverse the aging process, but definitely you can go from the unhealthy to healthy bucket, which has been one of the biggest triggers for people to get into fitness, right? So a lot of kind of growth has been fueled from the fact that people want to work out, people want to stay healthy. I think on top of that, when you talk about these apps, I think what has happened through the digital revolution in the last kind of 18 months in fitness is that great quality services are now being offered to tier two, tier three cities, which earlier did not have, abundance of great gyms or trainers. So a lot of users are now kind of going on these apps, working out digitally. And also for kind of the users in the metro cities who are not being able to find the time or are uncomfortable venturing out, digital fitness is really helping, right? And I think the third theme that we see emerge very clearly is that people are looking at fitness more holistically now. I think it's become kind of a package of working out, eating right, and mental well-being. And hence, I think a lot of users are now not just entering the fitness funnel to look good or to lose weight, which were majority of the conventional reasons, but also to kind of look at this as a preventive healthcare measure, better lifestyle, quality of lifestyle, and so on. So I think that's what's been happening. And I think, collectively as fraternity, we've seen some massive growth. Obviously it was a very hard kind of year for us. And I think the lockdowns really kind of paused the conventional business, which was our ability to help users work out in different gyms. But that's really rebounded well. Seen some massive traction. And I can also speak for the larger ecosystem. We are also part of the kind of, cult fit ecosystem. So across the board, we are seeing, great pickup, great traction, and hope to kind of hit pre-COVID numbers very soon across the board.
You at HRX have really been a digital first brand, and you all have literally, grown your presence via the CureFit app to begin with. So tell us a little bit about how the last couple of months have been for you all.
Couple of months or couple of years? It's actually, those 2 years are actually a couple of months, because they've been a blur since March 2020 for all of us. But just to take it forward from what Jayam was saying, since last year and coming to now, this there has been a huge spurt in the everyday athlete space, because being in the lockdown, it all started in the first lockdown, and the being confined to their respective homes, there has been a huge growth in the digital fitness. Now we are part of Cult, we are also part of Sarva, and we have seen both these apps gain some serious traction. Even from our point of view, where we are in the space of providing the necessary equipment and apparel for these workouts, there has been on the Myntra platform, you have seen that the consumer has actually been at it, and they have learned. It's taken some time, but they have been educated and they have learned to buy specific stuff, specific shoes for running, specific attire for their gym workouts. So that change has happened. And the thought of spending at least 30 minutes outdoors or in front of a digital screen and getting fit has become a necessity. There has been a huge increase around me in the building complex. When you speak to your friends, I think there is not only in terms of giving that time for being fit, it's more about just ensuring that you're doing something. Now, it could be running, walking, playing some sport, but the focus is on wellness. A lot of focus is also there on the mental well-being, but that's more from the company and the corporate side that we are doing. But even in my team, I get that sense that everyone is picking up some discipline and instilling some discipline in their lifestyle. So we have seen growth last year and even in this year in our business of HRX on the Myntra platform. Cult is progressing pretty well. I'm sure Jayam will add to it how Fitternity has benefited by becoming part of the Cult ecosystem.
Right, Jayam, I want to bring you, into this conversation out here to understand, because I believe that you had about over 12,000 plus gyms which are part of your overall network. In terms of the kind of fear that people have in terms of going to gyms, has the landscape changed? Are you seeing that, there is a digital first approach that's even applicable in the traditional gym space? Because it seems that people are moving from traditional forms of workouts to more digital only, or perhaps more isolated workouts at this point in time.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very fair question, and I think a debate which is going on since a while. See, I think early signs when we were, say, in October to December last year were more shaping up, saying that a lot of people have adopted digital as the primary source. But I think that really kind of changed our opinion in the first quarter of this year. And I think some numbers over there, right? Like, so if you look at a conventional gym, if they have 100 people who used to work out before COVID, they are pretty much now seeing 80 people. And now if I break this 80 people down, 60 folks are folks who were earlier working out as part of that 100. The remaining 40 are sitting at home, not venturing out. But there are another 20 which is a 25%, who's actually never gone to a gym before, but now has bought a gym membership, right? So, and if you look at global trends, large chains like Planet Fitness, across the globe have already hit pre-COVID numbers. Yeah, I'm speaking to a lot of kind of similar apps, platforms globally, and most of them, in countries like the US, where things are a little more opened up as compared to us, the gym business is back to 100, and even in some countries, 120% of what it was. So I think the gut sense is that both businesses will flourish. There will not be any drastic movement into one category. People will still go to the gym. At the same time, people will also kind of use digital first tools. as I said, either for convenience, either for availability to great quality content. And there will also be this third user who will be using both. So who will be going to the gym on days they can't be working out digitally. But I think where, at least my personal opinion is that 60 to 70% of the market will still be the conventional go out and workout market, and 30% would be in home. And at home is also now kind of being decorated with hardware tech. There is kind of the Peloton way of working out through smart bikes. There is good content that you get through digital means. So I think it'll be an ensemble of that over there. Also, I think that space is evolving so quickly that's difficult to say that whether it'll be a personal trainer on Zoom or whether it'll be a smart device on your kind of camera vision phone or a
Right.
bike, right? Yeah.
I wanted to specifically ask you about HRX in terms of the categories that have been doing well
Right.
for you. If you could just highlight in terms of which are the best selling categories according to you, and which are the categories that are seeing significant offtake during these times.
See so our apparel and footwear really continued its growth trajectory. It was on a upswing, and even in 2020, I think being confined to homes, people were much more willing to buy t-shirts and tracks and the footwear. This year, what has happened is we have seen a huge growth in the footwear space. I think maybe because people have now become habitual of wearing shoes and going for some kind of a workout or just for their walks outdoors. What has also been launched are sports and fitness equipment with Flipkart 2 months back, and we started with yoga mats. But we and various gym accessories, barbells, and then we launched our cycles. It's been phenomenal. The way the response has been on the platform, it's been phenomenal. That's the only word I can, rather than getting into percentages. And now we are launching a premium edition of the cycles in the coming 2 weeks. So the sports and fitness equipment, apparel, footwear are three areas that have seen a huge increase for us.
Sure, Jayam, I want to ask you the same question in terms of Fitternity. Which are the programs or the areas where you're seeing maximum traction right now? I believe there is a vast number of programs that are offered on the platform. So give us some updates in terms of which are the top 3 programs that people are enrolling for.
Yeah, no, I think, see, for us, currently, the theme is that the program that's working the most is our subscription program. So we have this model called the One Pass, which is a subscription product, which allows you to work out at any of the gyms and studios in our network. So how this works is that before the One Pass, you used to go and buy a Gold's Gym membership separately, swimming somewhere, and so on, right? Now, with this One Pass, you can work out at any of the gyms, which are part of that 12,000 gym kind of network, right? So I think that is really working well because it's giving flexibility to the users to kind of work out at different places. One, by choice, and second, even if you're not comfortable at one gym for whatever reason, as you move ahead and you want to say, no, I want to work out at another gym, I think that really helps. And I think, more kind of consumer friendly policies, right? Ability to freeze your membership if there's a lockdown, or ability to kind of, get digital access as part of that same membership. I think these are things, or, characteristics that a user is now looking for in their fitness membership as against the conventional, gym membership. So I think that is the one piece which we are seeing maximum traction on. And I think the second one for us is the virtual personal trainer bit, which is, the ability for you to kind of work out one-on-one with a trainer. And we've tried to kind of add more technology over here to make it more interactive. But I think these are, in my opinion, the two things that are working very well. And I think in the long term also, the thought is that the kind of pass model, which is access to multiple outlets, is the one which is going to scale the fastest. which is what we've also seen globally.
Right, Afzal, I want to come to you now to understand the kind of investment that you're looking at putting into the business, considering that you are looking at major expansion. You've, launched in the hardware space as well, along with apparels and footwear. So, are you looking at any external funding? What's the kind of funding requirement for the years ahead?
So, Priya, how in one of our previous conversations I had shared, the way we have structured HRX, we are not looking at external funding. We are completely, the way we have structured our business, and it's very robust, we align with partners who are specialists in their space. Like with Myntra, our commitment, how we have grown, Myntra took care of the distribution, the marketing, the manufacturing, etc. And Ritik and Exceed, we came together and provided he provided his time and creative inputs and the marketing space. And that's how the alignment happened, because we worked on our strengths together. Similarly with Flipkart, that's how we have progressed. With CureFit being you're part of the founding investors. We did a deal with 3-year license deal with Xiaomi, which really helped us in the fitness band space, because and there Ritik was the face of that relationship. Now, how we are looking at expanding, we are launching our fitness trackers with a very reputed Indian company. We are getting into the sports and fitness equipment is with Flipkart. With Cult, we work on our workouts, and we are planning some other new initiatives in the space of digital fitness. I'm sure at some point in time, Jayam and the team will connect on this. So our focus is very clearly in expanding in the health, fitness, wellness space. When you talk about investments, we are looking at partners. We are in conversations with all the companies, be it Marico, Nestle, figuring out which would be the right space, right segment that we can join hands on. So that's the space, that's how we operate, and that's the primary reason why we have been, if we are successful, we have been what we are, because we have let the specialists take care of what they are good at, and we have worked on our strengths. That's the creative aspect, the design aspect, and ensuring that the brand remains, the story. We are true to the story of touching 1 billion lives in this country, ensuring that everyone at least commits 30 minutes in a day to health and fitness. Now, we are being true to that. And that's
right.
How that part.
And on the revenue front, I believe 500 crore rupees is what you closed that in FY21. What can we expect in FY22 out there?
Well, hopefully we should be upwards of 600 crores, at least on the Myntra platform. So this is just the number of the Myntra platform. What we are doing with Flipkart is separate.
So what can we expect at the end of FY22 then?
We should be 600 crores upwards.
So Jayam, a final question to you, to ask you about what kind of growth metrics we can expect from you in FY22 now that you're a part of the entire CureFit family. What's the kind of focus going to be, and if you could share some growth metrics with us?
No, absolutely. See, I think the idea is, as part of this, kind of coming together with CureFit, I think it brings in a lot of kind of infrastructure and resources, which really strengthen the backbone that we've created at Fitternity. So the idea would be, I think, step one to kind of, go back to our pre-COVID numbers very soon and kind of expand from there. We feel that, say December 22 and so on, we at least, I think 2x of what we were in pre-COVID. So I think that's the way we've been looking at kind of this growth journey. And I think, we're just kind of trying to, I think one metric which will really improve is the users on the platform, because of the reasons that we mentioned throughout, right? There is a culturally more influx of people working out across the board, across everything. So I think that number, we pre-COVID was seeing around 700,000 users on the platform every month. I think that number doubling is something that we will kind of be very keen on working towards by December 22. be way northwards of, the 100 crore revenue that we were doing pre-COVID. Exactly whether that will land at 200, 250, that's something I think it's too premature to say at the moment.
All right, fair enough. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us as a part of this very insightful chat. Thank you so much for being a part of the Daily Dispatch. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Daily Dispatch. I'll catch you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Goodbye and have a lovely day.